This is Dave from R&D Marine Design. Today I'm going to talk about how to divide terrain builder files with ECC Globe. So I'm back and we're going to open up a rather large file in Globe. The Globe program is a 32-bit program, and even if you're running the program on a 64-bit machine, it really does not like dealing with files that are over 2 gigabytes in size. It will cause the Globe to crash, and if you keep running that file long enough, there is a very good chance that you will corrupt the file, sometimes to the point where you can't open that file or utilize that file any longer, or you can't even divide it up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you this right here. Okay, you can see this file right here that's highlighted. And I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to Properties. And right there, 2.98 gigabytes. So it's well over the threshold that Globe wants to utilize. Here we're going to click on this, and now we're going to just get it right down into there. I'm going to zoom in as far as we can get, and we're going to go Open. And we're going to look for that file, and this is the file we're looking at right here. If I scroll over there, there's the big number. So we're going to go Open. We're going to call it No. I don't want to do that. I'm going to close this so you can see how big this file really is. Yeah, it goes clear up past Kodiak. It's a big, big file. Globe does not like dealing with that very well either. So what we're going to do is, if you can see my mouse here, I'm going to start by, I think, grabbing from about this section over to this vertical line here, where you'd open the files, click on that. Now, the trick is, if you start the export process, this box is going to be right over the top of where I'm trying to work. So what I got to do is I'm going to drag this down over to the corner. So now we have it over in the corner. Now I'm going to click on Export. And right here where it says area, you don't want a complete copy. That's all it's going to do is redo the file, and it's not going to save us anything. So we're going to break this into about 3 chunks today. So we're going to click on area, and then it's going to say you could put latitude longitudes in there. That to me is a real pain in the rear end. So this box down here says drag area with mouse. So when I click that, so I'm going to get from here, up here, over to here, and what you do is you go up where you want to start, which is going to be right at the very top here. You left click with the mouse and hold it down and drag over and then down. So I'm going to get this little swath here. And I always go just a tiny bit over on either side, so when you're breaking these up, you don't inadvertently miss something. The box disappeared, but the latitude longitude numbers in there work. So now if I click on OK, now it wants a file name. So I'm just going to name it 12, and I use a dash. You can't use a slash. And then 3 dash, and then 2020 -1. And now I'm going to click the save. Now it's just going to start exporting. What you're going to see is right there, you're going to see an exporting value number. That's the percentage of the file that it's exporting. This is the file it's creating. You see the date. This is the name I named it, 12-3-2020 file. And if I right click on that and go to properties, it's going to give you how many megabytes is already crunched down. That number will keep changing only when you right click on it and go to properties. It's important to know where your files are going. So in here, if you look up here, where I'm dumping this file is labeled C backup plus drive E, and the folder name is all TB file. So what you're seeing right here is the export is gone, the little red circle deal is gone, and if we look back over here, and I'll bring that over here where you can see it, this is the file we just created. So we're going to create one more just to make sure you fully understand what's going on. Now we're going to get this next section over here. So I'm going to get it zoomed in a little bit where we can see that next section. What I did is I highlighted it again. Now it's highlighted, and this box here goes from gray to black. I click on the export, I click on area, and then drag with mouse. Now this is already down over in this corner, so I don't have to worry about it over the top of my working area. I click the box that says drag with mouse. Now remember, when you're doing this, start a little bit before the section you want and end a little bit after, and you're going to left click with your mouse, drag it over, and encompass the whole area with a tiny bit extra. That way you have some overlap. Now, and you notice again the box disappeared on us, but rest assured, down over here you could have watched these numbers change. So now once we do there, we go OK, and now it's going to ask us for a file name, so I'm going to name -3 -2020 -2. And then I'm going to click the save, and now we're back and we're seeing that little X, the red X, and exporting show up. So in a couple minutes, when that finishes, we'll close the original file and we will open up both of the files we just exported. So you can see that the file has finished, and there she be. So we are done with that second file, and that is going to be number 2. And that's a fairly big file. That's not what I wanted. There it is. That file is 1.59 gigabytes. So make sure that when you're looking at these files that you don't get yourself back into a bind. What I would suggest once you've got a file that's 1.6 or bigger file you stopped writing to it is we're going to close the original file, and I'm going to open up the two files we just saved. So let's close this, go up here and close the file, and we're going to go open, and it's today's date. Here's the first one. There's the first file. So we're going to click on that one. We're going to go open, and we're not going to worry about that. And there it is right there. It just started populating, and we're going to open up the second file. And that is this one here. And it's going to be the one right alongside it. And there it is. So now we can zoom in on them and show some nice terrain there. So when you're working in a geographical area, if you can start saving your files in that area and not letting your files get beyond 2 gig, you're going to be in much better shape. And again, like I said, the smaller the file you open up, the less numbers the computer has to crunch down. So in conclusion, just try to remember that the file size that you're crunching through really affects how the globe overall will function. The computer, when it's looking through all this data, has to render every point that you've created. So if you have multiple files that are overlapping in a geographical area, that can, say if you have 10 files in a 50-mile area that you're working on, and each one of those files is over 1 gigabyte long, well, the computer is going to have to sort through all of that data that you're trying to display all at once. If that's the case, where you're having that many files for a small area, 50 to 100 miles, which is, you say it's not that big, but it's still, the computer's still going through it. What I would suggest doing is we should talk to Dan at ECC, save all those files you have, and then send them to him, and let's see if he can coalesce all those files into 1 or 2 files for you, so that your computer is not burdened by trying to have all these different files open at the same time. That will probably make a big difference on the speed of your computer and less likely to have problems. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a good day.